Hey there, and welcome back to the Destinations channel. Today, we're going to talk about cruise etiquette, the things you should and probably shouldn't do on your next cruise. I'll be back to go over them all with you right after this. Welcome back, and thanks for staying through the intro. As always, please take a moment to hit the like button, share this video, and subscribe to our channel. It's free and it means the world to us. So today we're going to talk about cruise etiquette, the things you should and shouldn't do on your next cruise that are going to make you look like a cruising professional. The first bit of cruise etiquette is pretty simple, and that's show up on time for your cruise. And when I say on time, I don't just mean don't come late, I also mean don't come too early. When you show up earlier than your scheduled boarding time, which by the way is usually given to you on your cruise check-in ahead of your cruise online, it only makes for the lines to get very long and bottlenecked, and we don't want to see that happen to anybody on their cruise. Number two, when you arrive at the port, if you're checking bags with the porter, make sure you give them a gratuity. They really do appreciate it, and it will make sure that your bags get on the ship and to the proper location. The standard gratuity for porter is $2 per bag. Number three, the cruise check-in process can be tedious. Lines can be long, and quite frankly, the staff at the pier have a lot of people to check in, and sometimes it can get pretty frustrating. Remember you're cool and always be nice to the check-in staff. They're there to help you start your vacation and have a great cruise. It's not their fault that things sometimes get bottlenecked because they didn't listen to rule number one. Number four is after your check-in when you first board the ship. Almost all ships you're going to board in the atrium of the ship, and that atrium can get pretty packed. Don't just stand in the atrium forever, making it hard for everybody to get around. Go up to the Lido deck, enjoy a nice meal, and wait for the time that you can go to your cabin. So notice I say wait till the time you go to your cabin. That means don't go directly to your cabin unless you have status with the cruise line that allows you to do so. Your room stewards are still making up your cabin from the last guest, and they need that extra time to make it so it's ready for you. Number five, and this is an issue on every single cruise ship, don't hog the deck chairs out on the sun deck or Lido deck. There are lots of people that want those chairs, so don't go there at 6 o'clock in the morning and put your stuff down when you only intend on using those chairs for a couple minutes throughout the day. Leave those chairs open. If everybody does this, there will be plenty of chairs for everybody. If you're done using them, take your stuff and put it on a new chair when you come back. Now, lots of cruise lines will actually remove your things if you're not there for 30 minutes. If that's the case, go to the towel station and they will usually have your things there. Number six, and this is a pet peeve, almost every cruise line has hand washing stations outside of the buffet or outside of the main dining room. Take a minute and wash your hands. There are germs all over the ship. Even though the crew is great at cleaning and sterilizes everything throughout the day, the best way to make sure that you don't get sick or get anybody else sick is to wash your hands regularly, especially before you touch utensils at the buffet. Number seven, and this is a huge pet peeve of mine, as crew on a cruise ship, we don't want to be referred to as the help. Remember, just like when you're visiting a tropical island, you are a guest on the cruise ship. The crew lives on this ship, so you are literally visiting their home. We don't mind being called the crew or lots of other things, but we're certainly not the help or your servants, so be nice to us and treat us accordingly. Number eight, and this happens on every cruise ship as well, is don't get drunk and disorderly. It's pretty simple. It's not only your vacation, but it's courtesy to everybody around you to not have to deal with you when you're drunk. And if you do something you shouldn't, you could actually get in trouble and find yourself confined to your cabin. Number nine, and this is a big one as well, lots of you I know watching this video have status on board the cruise ship. For instance, you might be platinum or diamond on Carnival because you've traveled a lot. Don't brag to everybody on board about your status. Nobody really wants to hear about it. Number 10, and you might think this is obvious, but you'll be surprised how many people do it. Don't push your way into an already crowded elevator. Another one will come along in just a few minutes. Also, if you're in an elevator that's not crowded and you see somebody running for the elevator, hold the door open from them. It's really not funny to let the doors close and make that person wait for another elevator, just like you wouldn't have wanted that done to you. Number 11, and admittedly, this is more of a problem with the men than the women, and that's don't hit on the crew. The crew is paid to do their job well and be nice to you, and they love their job. Don't mistake that for more than it actually is. Almost every cruise line has a zero tolerance policy for crew mingling with the guests. You could actually get that crew member in trouble or even sent home. So don't mistake their friendliness for hitting on you. I promise that's not the case. Number 12, and this shouldn't even have to be said, you are on vacation, others are on vacation. The last thing you want to think about is real world stuff. So when you're on board, no politics or religion. Trust me, no matter how in depth or involved you are with them, nobody wants to hear it when you're on vacation. Number 13, and this is a pretty obvious one. Again, it goes back to do unto others what you want, and that's no cutting in line at the buffet or really anywhere else on the cruise ship. You have all day on board. There's no rush. You wouldn't like it if anybody cut in front of you, so don't cut in front of anybody else. Number 14, and this isn't just cruise etiquette, and you can see videos of this all over the internet, is that when you're in port, make sure you're back to the ship at least 30 minutes before sail time. Remember, if you're late, not only could the ship leave without you, but it's going to also be very embarrassing if the ship had to wait there for you to come back on board. Number 15, and we've already touched on this briefly, and that is when you are in port, remember you are visiting their country. You're a visitor. Be nice and respectful to the locals in every port that you go to. Number 16, and this is always controversial, and that is obey the dress code in the main dining room. Almost every ship has a dress code, and they're usually pretty liberal. Like men, they don't want you wearing ball caps or tank tops, etc. Just respect the dress code. I promise you'll have a better time, and you won't make the people around you feel uncomfortable either. Number 17, remember that just because you have a certain sleep schedule doesn't mean that's when other people sleep. People sleep on a cruise ship throughout the day and night. So when you're in the corridors, be respectful and don't make a lot of noise. And number 18 is going to go hand in hand with that, and that is make sure your kids are well behaved, especially when in the corridors. Don't let them run up and down and thump on walls and thump their feet on the floor. Remember, somebody could be sleeping, and that is their enjoyment of the cruise. And number 20, my last piece of cruise etiquette, and by far the biggest pet peeve of mine. Remember, when you're on board a cruise ship, you are dealing on a floating island. It's no different than you were to take a land-based vacation. There are lots of different departments. You have the food and beverage department, the hotel department, the entertainment department, the shops, the casino, and lots more. Over the course of the week, you're going to deal with somebody that works for the cruise ship or something that the cruise ship does that's not going to be to your liking. Remember that you're on vacation. It's inevitable you're going to find something that goes wrong or something that you don't like. You're not always entitled to compensation just because something went wrong, the same way you wouldn't be out in the real world on vacation. Also, remember, when you do have a valid reason to go to guest services to complain, remember to be nice. My coworkers at guest services are there for one reason, and that's to help you deal with your issue. But they are bound by company policies, and there's only so much that they can do. So if they can't handle your issue in the way that you feel is the correct way, there's no need to holler at them. Again, they're just trying to help you, so be nice to the people at guest services. And for that matter, all of the crew on board. And that's it. That's the cruise etiquette that I wanted you to know. What do you think about this? Let me know in the comments down below. I want this to be more of a discussion than me just telling you. So if you feel I'm off base, let me know in the comments. I do read them. Again, make sure you click that subscribe button. We appreciate it, and I'll see you guys all on the next video.